Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of South York's Allotment. I'm just down at plot 2 at the moment and I'm just about to plant my parsnip seeds. Now in the last episode you'd have seen this is how I left it, and I've got my seeds ready. They are Johnson's, Tender and True, and what I do is I plant 3 seeds per station, fairly central. Just do a nice little indent with your finger, as such like that. And basically by doing this and planting 3, it just gives hopefully a decent germination rate, whereby then I know at least one will come up. If there's 2 or 3 won't come up, then I'll just thin them out to the strongest available. So couldn't be any easier really. Everything's been prepared previously, so it's just a case of putting the seeds in. There's a bit, cats have been on here by the looks of things again. And then putting a seed in as such. Yeah, they have, they've been on here, made a right bit of a mess. Right then. So as you can see there, all the holes dug then, ready for me to sow the seeds. I'll just give you a little tip. Once you get your parsnip seeds out as such, which are these, just be very careful because of that light. If the wind's up, it'll grab them, it'll blow them all over the allotment. You get parsnips sprouting up everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 3 seeds in each station and I'll be back with you shortly. Here we go then, all the seeds are now 1 per station and 3 in each section. I'm going to keep the remaining seeds just in case I do get any misses. I'd have thought that with 3 in every particular coiled hole there'll be a success. So all I'll do then is just lightly just tickle the soil over, firm it down with the back of your hand again, just like this, nicely smooth it over, and hopefully these should be up at the very worst in 4 weeks time. They are slow germinators and some people do put them on kitchen roll, give them a bit of they put them on a damp piece of kitchen roll just to get them sprutting first to see if they're viable seeds, but I don't bother, never have done. It's never done any problems beforehand, but it is another option just to do, just to check your stock of seed. So usually parsnip seed only lasts about a year, so if you've got some what says sow by X year and it's out of date, I wouldn't bother. I'd get some fresh seed for how much they cost. So that's how I do my parsnips then. I'll give them good water in, put the cloches back over them, and also put some better preventative measures in to keep the cats off. I'm just down at the shed at plot 2 at the moment, and this is today's task. I'm going to plant the red and white onions in the raised beds today. Now I'll probably only get 20 of each in each raised bed, so whatever I don't use here will go down to the allotment on plot 1, which then you'll see me doing some planting as and when I bring the next footage to you. So for the time being I'll get set up. I've got all the ground prepared, so I'll tell you about that in a minute. So here's the first bit then. I'm on to my red onions first, and all I've done is I've just sat them on the top roughly where each one will go, the spacings, etc, etc. So there you can see 4 rows of 6, so that gets me 24 onions in each raised bed. So all I do then, the ground's been prepared really well 2 weeks ago. I give it a handful dressing of bloodfish and bone to give it a bit of nutrients, and what I'll do is I'll also throw on a handful of chicken manure pellets once I've planted the bulb. So with it being so easy and nicely worked, you can see how nice and soft it is. Just lightly, just pushing with your finger, just like so. And you just want to see just the top sticking up like so. You can just see a bit of the top sticking out there. What you may have to do though in time is do it 3 or 4 times in case the blackbirds or other birds decide they want to pull them out thinking that they're worms. But it's just a case of just dropping them back in. Nice little simple planting task. Nice and relaxing for a lovely evening job. So like I say, what I'll do is once I've done all these, I'll just throw on a handful of chicken manure pellets, give them a good watering in, but I'm also going to put the wire frames over again, just to stop any birds pulling seeds out, or even worse, cats scratching them out as they usually used to do. So with me putting these wire frames over them, it seemed to have prevented them doing that, which is good because the soil is really nice and workable. So that's it for the reds then. I'll get on with the whites and also do the shallots. Here we are then, just to add, I've also planted some shallots. Now these are a bit further apart as they need to spread, and then when they split they'll create their own little sets themselves. Preventative measures on top with these, so let's keep them well watered, and then hopefully I'll have some good sized bulbs which I can then harvest and store for autumn and winter. So it's April 11th and I'm just on with the carrot box now. I'm a bit behind with this as I've usually had the seeds planted by now, but as you can see I've filled it all up to the top now. That box is still to be done, but I've given it a good drenching with a full watering can of water, and this basically is to make the sand more compact so that I can core the holes out better. I use grit sand or sharp sand, whatever you want to call it, as I find this is best stuff to use, and then I core out the holes. Probably get about, what, 4-ish, 2, 3, 4, that needs to be a bit spaced out a bit more actually. But yeah, probably get about 4 by, I think it's 5, I think I got 20 out, 20 last year, so just like so, and they get called out. So I'll just start a couple off. I'm not going to bore you to death with it all, as the second box is a bit bigger and it'll take even longer, so I'll just get set up with this and I'll be back with you shortly. So this is a tool I use. It's basically a piece of 3-inch gutter pipe, 70-75mm, and it's got a bit of a metal handle through so I get a good leverage on it. Got a spout there for digging, so it's easy to go in. So all I do then, nice and straight, just feed it in nice and slowly to start with, and then you need to give it a bit more hammer, but I can't do this with one hand, so just bear with me. Right then, so here goes, nice and straight, keep it straight as you can, and just keep pushing down on it. And you want to go down, hopefully, as far down as you can, maybe about 3 foot. Twist, lift up gently, and I'll shake all the spent sand in there because that needs to be filled up. Then go in again for a second time. Same again, push, twist, and lift up gently. It's important you lift up gently because if you don't, if you lift it too quick, then all the sand will come out. So there we go. Sorry, just bear with me. And there we are. One nice clean hole, and that'll be ready for putting some compost in now. So I'm just going to get the rest done and prepared, and then I'll show you the end results. Right, finally, after a couple of attempts, as you can see, the middles are a bit collapsing. So normally what I'd do is, as I go, fill these up to stop this potential collapsing, whereby when you're doing, like, say 1, 2, 3, you do the 4th one and then all the middle just sinks. So I'm hoping now it's wet enough. I'm going to try and give it a bit of a damping from top, and hopefully that'll keep it nice and sturdy, but if not I'm just going to have to bore them out again, and I'll just do the composting, put the compost in the holes as I go. So that's how I call the carrots out. I'll show you in the next episode how I go about putting the compost in, what I do, and also planting the seed. Just to end this episode then, I'm finally getting round to planting the gladioli. I've prepared the area, which I'll show you in a minute, and done a wooden frame. 2 varieties I've got are a purple violet colour and an orange colour. Nagarit and Radinia, so that's all the soil requirements and positioning, depths, distances, etc. Now if you notice there it says flowering height. Now the Nagarit, they are the orange ones, and they'll be positioned at the back because they're the taller, and the Radinia, which are the violet colour ones, they'll be positioned at the front because they're shorter flowering. So hopefully they'll come out like this, and hopefully I'll get a nice picking in a few months' time. So as you can see, this is the bed now constructed. It's approximately 2 foot squared and it's about a foot deep, so more than plenty enough to take the roots of the bulb of the gladioli. Just looking at these bulbs then, and it's quite strange really, because you really have to look closely to make sure you get the basal plate, which is the bottom, and then the shoot at the top. So as you can see, that's quite decent and you can tell what's what. But that's again, just position him into place like such. Get rid of that tissue off. I'm hoping I might get 4 in a row. So if I can get 4, I'll be quite happy with that. Right then, let's have a look. That's 1. I'll get 4. 4 inches apart it says. I think that's absolutely fine there. So I'll just be back with you shortly. So there they are, they look like a bit like shallots, the same size. So the orange ones, as I said, at the back, the purple ones at the front, due to the flowering height. Now it's a long time since I grew gladioli, and as the expression goes, I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Very young, and I used to help my granddad when he used to have gladioli stems, and he used to cut them for nice vases in the house. So I've not grown them since then. So you're talking 25 years easy. But they're down. Plant them down about 4 inches, so all I'm going to do, the soil's really nice and fine, just push right in, like so, just do exactly the same, and hopefully we'll do the business. Just like such. I am going to put a bit of cover on these because, as I said to you previously, cats absolutely love to dig and scrap round in these raised beds, especially when I've cultivated and made the soil really fine. So we'll be taking precaution again. So just a quick dusting over. I'll give these a good water as well. So there we have it. Gladioli planted, and hopefully I'll get a nice floral display in the coming months. So that's it for down there then everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.